The LGBT community getting ready for a massive nationwide strike this weekend. This week has already seen several large demonstrations in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, but the Sunday strike could involve tens of thousands of walkouts from around the nation and some of Israel's largest corporations now telling their employees they will be given a paid day off if they attend. It's because the Prime Minister walked back his pledge to support gay couples obtaining children through surrogacy. He released his support on video, then voted no a day later at Parliament. With me in studio is LGBT activist Ella Amest. Ella, thanks so much for being with us. I want to ask first about the surprising, perhaps, support from so many corporations, businesses big and small, on this issue. Why do you think that is?
Well, I believe many people know what is the right thing to do. And when people see something so terribly wrong going off in the middle of the Israeli parliament, they almost have no other moral choice. But with that, I want to say that surrogacy might have been the tipping point of the discussion, but the iceberg is way much bigger.
Well, what is it? What broke this open? I mean, Netanyahu said on a Twitter video, he said he would support this amendment to allow the possibility for same-sex couples, for men to have surrogacy, and then he voted no. Exactly. Well, you mentioned that that just broke this issue wide open. What other issues were boiling here?
Well, the LGBT community and its most vulnerable aspects and communities has been neglected, if not targeted specifically by the government and by the Israeli state for years now. There are trans community members that are struggling to live. Just a few days ago, this last week, a trans woman was stabbed in South Tel Aviv. A South woman that is a sex worker was stabbed. That's our lives as trans people, and there's many other people in the queer community. We're currently struggling for our lives, and people who hear that, including the grotesque discrimination by law, by written law, just can't stand still anymore.
Ella, we've heard from, while covering this story, people say that, Netanyahu personally, other lawmakers, they talk internationally about how it's a very gay-friendly nation, that it's very liberal, but really...
To the outside.
Yeah, to the outside. What?
Here in Israel, trans women and people in general continue to die almost daily. I almost don't need to explain that even any other members of the community don't get the rights we deserve. Equality is so far from the truth these days, and people realize that.
How big is this Sunday protest going to be, do you think?
It is humongous. I wish I knew the entire extent of it, but we're talking about tens of companies. We're talking about huge corporations.
The biggest,
thousands of people. I personally am also an activist for an organization named Ma'avarim for long-lasting change in the trans community. And this Sunday in 6:30, we're organizing a huge
march protest.
Yeah, march protest. Yes, exactly.
I want to ask very quickly, Ella, just because the fact is the parliament's not in session right now. They can't bring this any kind of amendment until the next session. It's a long break. What do you want to achieve right now while the parliament's out?
Well, before even any laws are passed, we want our members of parliament to address us, to say this is wrong. People in the queer community, specifically even the trans community, have their lives endangered, and we need to act now. We need government officers to give us the attention we deserve, to treat us equally, to give us the rights every other citizen has.